said last week and yesterday, we're monitoring the numbers closely, and additional statewide action is possible.
And in New York, starting Friday, no indoor gatherings of more than 10 people. Plus bars, restaurants, and gyms will close at 10 p.m. The return to strict restrictions in some states comes as the CDC releases its strongest endorsement yet of face coverings, saying that using masks protects the wearer as well. Previous declarations said that face coverings would only protect others. The daily death toll today is at 1,458 Tuesday, the first time it has risen above 1,400 since mid-August.
Shalom. But foremost, to give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Rakadash. The honors to the elders and apostles, GMS groups, and ones like teacher and percent true. Shalom Barakathon to them. For the edification and knowledge, give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Rakadash. That was a Reuters report related to U.S. States clamped down on mid-COVID virus surges. That's increasing. Over 1,800 plus relating to hospitalizations. So it's a major crisis daily. Over 10,444,000 and plus relating to the United States. 242 something relating to 1,000 plus relating to deaths. This relates to this the Reuters relating to the U.S. state clampdown on the COVID virus surge cases. And he's talking about Biden's administration on a CNN report talking about the 4 to 6 week possible lockdown related to controlling the virus. I'm going to read some scriptures. This is 2nd Esdras 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Relates to the times we're in, you know what I mean? Ezra, the vision that Ezra see relating to the latter times. Beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death, the beginnings of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginnings of evils, and that's what we're in, the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? These we're in the beginnings of sorrow relating to the birth pains, great mournings, famines, beginning of famines, beginnings of death, and beginnings of wars. And pretty much we're in evil times, man, relating to nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Things happen in diverse places, you know. We in those times, man. These are the birth pangs we're in. But the end shall not be yet. These are all the beginnings, man. So beginnings of famines, wars, mournings, pestilence, tribulation. This COVID virus is a pestilence, man. It's pretty much havoc and wrecking, not just in the United States, but globally. Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the amendment. Scourges is a tool to implement for punishment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So all these things that's happening precursively and ultimately will happen, and people are going to continue to do exceedingly wicked, man. Even when these things are pretty much in their face, obvious in their face, you know, as far as things happening. I'll read number 21 and 22. But victual shall be so good cheap upon the earth. Victuals relates to supplies, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, the sword, the famine, and great confusion. These relates to different scourges that are going to happen. They're going to think because we're somewhat in a pre-relaxed state, and really nothing is major really happening, they're gonna underestimate the times that they're in, man. They're not gonna measure now the time diligently in itself, says in 2 Ezra 9:1. So they're gonna underestimate precursively and ultimately what's really happening right in front of their eyes. 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So it's pretty much inevitable. You try to escape one, you're going to have to deal with one or two other things. So you're not going to be able to escape these things. And these are these plagues and pestilence that the Lord is beginning to begin to send, man. For the Lord is beginning to visit what He has made. 2 Ezra 9:2, man. Let's go to. I'll just read it real fast. He answered me then and said, measure thou time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the parts of the signs pass, which I had told thee before. So that's the times we need to be in, measuring our time, being watchful, being vigilant, especially ones who are who prophesize and preaching the word and this truth and knowledge, man. So measure our time diligently itself, because things are happening. We have to be cognizant, we have to be aware, be vigilant. Ephesians 5:15 and 16. Be circumspect them not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times, because they're evil, man. We're in evil times, so we have to be circumspect, we have to be aware, we have to be awakened, we have to be vigilant for the kind of times we're in, and measuring the times because of these things happening. And number 2, then shall thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit which He made, man. Visit the world which He made. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's visiting the world what He's made, is by sending these different plagues as a issue and a sanction for an amendment upon the earth, man. Let's go to 2 Ezra 15 and before I go to that, I'll go to number 8 and 50. The 2 Ezra 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, man. These miseries are related to these different plagues and pestilence, man, that the Lord is sending upon the earth, man. And because they have walked in great pride. We'll read that again. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. That's the consequences relating to the majority of the population of people for not hearkening and heeding to the warnings relating to, as a prophet has spoken, man. So because of that great pride, the Lord is going to bring pretty much destruction upon the multitudes of nations of people, man. Let me go to 2 Ezra 9 real fast. And then shall they be in a pitiful case which have abused my ways, and they have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell in torments. Because they ignored these and they didn't hearken and heed to these. So the torments is going to be the judgment, man. Consequence. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, relate to the 2/3 and the other nations, man. That underestimate or that didn't pretty much appreciate this the complexity of this situation, man. They didn't hearken and heed to what the things that's really going on, and they pretty much they didn't acknowledge certain things, they abused and they scoffed, mocked. 2 Peter 3 and 4, lusting after, in the latter times they'll lust after their own desires, and they'll say, where's this promise of this coming, man? So they mocked, they scoffed, they unbelieved, and so So they're going to be in a pitiful case. Number 10, 11. And they that have loathed my law, while they yet had liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not and despised it. And that's the majority of people. They despised it, man. They despised this. They unbelieved. They incredulous, which means disbelieve. They think these things will never happen. Some will say that these things will never happen in this lifetime. So the consequence, because they haven't hearkened and heed to it, the same must know it after death by pain. So that's the majority of the population of people. They're going to know it by pain, which is judgment, man. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's martial law. You know what I mean? We're going back down to that second wave is entering. In various countries, Germany, France, UK, Italy, second wave, Australia. The United States is going to be a second wave because these cases are increasing on a daily basis, man. So it's going to be a lockdown, which they politically correct don't like to say that, but that's what it is. It's a lockdown. It's a lockdown. It's we have precursors of that. Essential businesses only. Curfews are increasing. New York is going back to curfews at bars and different things, believed either at 10 o'clock closing, related to Mayor de Blasio and other major cities, man. So that second lockdown is right around the corner in these various cities in this country, man. Just like it is in the various major cities in these other countries, man. These cases are increasing continually, daily, hourly. That being said, I hope this whoever listened helped. I give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Rakadash Shalom.